All right, what's going on? Welcome to Drama Free Gaming. It is what it says, and it says what it is. And I don't know. I'm gonna ask you, Jay. Is this still all right to say Happy New Year's?
Oh no, we passed that, man. Let's go ahead and the touchdown has been thrown. The celebration has ended. It's time to get back into the field, man.
That's it, right? We're
Yes, sir.
we're what, like 12 days into the new year 2021. If this is your first time here, welcome. We hope that so far so good. As Jay said, we want to move forward, so I'm just gonna get some of these niceties out of the way. If you're here at Drama Free Gaming, of course on YouTube, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Only takes a millisecond to do, and definitely leave a comment. The comment that I specifically would like to read here in this specific podcast episode is: what Monster Hunter game did you discover or were introduced to, and you fell in love with the series ever since? That's something I want to know. I want to get a feeling. We're going to talk about that this evening as we talk about Monster Hunter Rise. But also for you audio listeners, we are on anchor.fm/DFG podcast, and we are on iTunes as well and other platforms. Just look us up, DFG podcast. And of course, I'm End Time, and we have my brother from another mother, Dark Dad 99, even though on the screen it says Dark Knight, but he is Jay. What's going on, Jay?
Yo,
Say something.
hey. Well, first off, he said say something, so I'll just say something.
Something.
Hey, he told me to say it. He told me to say it.
This brother, he takes me when he needs to take me literal. He don't. Let's not start with that, man. I'm still here thinking about our conversation before getting to the house.
Hey, man, I gotta be me. Oh, you still stuck on the division?
Oh man, forget. I don't even want to bring it up. Let's just move on from that. Let's move on. But
okay, what you got for me, man?
Well, man, I mean, here we are, man. Today's podcast, it's we don't have Henyo with us, who is usually with us. But today's podcast is all about Monster Hunter Rise. And to be specific, Monster Hunter Rise, the demo, because the game is not out until March 2021. You can pre-order it only on the Nintendo Switch. The demo is live now, I believe, until like February 3rd. And if you haven't checked it out, or you've never played a Monster Hunter ever, this might be the one that's going to hook you. So,
that depends. I definitely say start with Iceborne. Just go full out Iceborne. and
Okay.
then come here.
All right.
That would
And
be my.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying.
All right. Well, Jay
I
dropping already the opinion and stuff, and we're gonna get into it here. But since he brought up Monster Hunter World, and then the addition or the expansion of that game was Monster Hunter Iceborne. It's actually one in the same game. Um, let's talk about Monster Hunter World slash Iceborne. That was our first experience with Monster Hunter, correct?
correct.
Okay, and talk about that for a minute, Jay. What caused you? Because you was the one that introduced me, and up until literally yesterday or day before, I thought you was a big Monster Hunter fan. Like you've been playing this series for a long time, and you confessed something to me, and I was like, "Oh, okay, this brother tricked me."
Yeah. Well, okay. Basically, to make this entire long story short, I think, as a matter of fact, we were watching E3 and we saw Monster Hunter pop up. And this brother was like, "Yo, what is that?" And I was like, "That's Monster Hunter. That game's gonna be a beast. We need to get it." And of course, this brother likes to live on the edge and on the fence. He's like, "Man, I don't know." So, I goaded him into it, ladies and gentlemen. I can't lie. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I goaded my man into getting Monster Hunter World. I got it as well. And we both have been hooked ever since. Now, granted, I never played the game before at all, but it looked so cool. And when we both started playing it, there was no going back.
So let me ask you, Jay, and let me first say this before I ask you what I was going to ask you. But what you guys are seeing on the screen right now is our very first gameplay experience. Jay and I, we played the multiplayer together for the first time this morning, and we originally had a voice over on it, full recording. We were just gonna release it raw, and for whatever reason, I didn't capture it on OBS. I captured it on another capture card, and the audio format came out just wacky. So I saved the video, scrapped the audio, and that's why we're doing this podcast to pretty much rehatch what we've already spoken about. But we're taking kind of our time here in the beginning because I want to lay out the foundation. Jay, what was it that attracted you that you say, "Oh, this game is dope and we got to get it"? Because I don't remember me saying, "Oh, this game is great or looks hot or I must get it." Like
No,
my
I
impression of it
said
was,
that.
"Dag, I can't play this game. This thing look like Dynasty Warriors, these oversized weapons. I'm not with it." That was my initial impression.
Well, see, this was hot off the time where we were still in our we were in the slow end of our Division 1 days. Monster Hunter World has been out what, 3 years now?
Yeah, it's been out. Yeah, Monster Hunter
Yeah,
World. Yeah.
yeah. So Monster Hunter World was coming up, and we as a group, because we usually play big games in a group, and most of everybody had it that we played with. Some people like it, some people didn't. But back on topic, I knew this brother. He loves to play multiplayer games that make you think, and that's a challenge. And Monster Hunter World is definitely that. And answer me this: Was I wrong? Was I wrong in steering you in that direction?
No, no, most definitely. I told you that when I got into the game, um, I saw it for what it was. It has some in-depth systems, and I'll tell you this right off the top for anyone whom I've had this conversation with, and I've had this conversation with you many times, Jay. Monster Hunter is my number one game and franchise, hands down. Okay. And it is because it's the only game out here that, in my opinion, has perfected the loop that grind loop. I've never played Monster Hunter and felt like it was unfair or that the grind was too long or too hard. I would go out and get my teeth kicked in by some of these monsters, and it just made me want to get back in the seat and go at it again and go at it again and go at it again. And it's still the only game that you and I can pick up, even if it's lapsed for 2, 3, 4 months, and we pick up and muscle memory kicks in and it's fun. Like the first day
Yeah.
we played it.
Yeah.
And I can't say that about any other game that I've ever played in my life, period. And I'm a gray head. I'm
Except
46. Okay, I've been doing a lot of gaming.
Division 1.
No.
Hold on.
No. Sorry.
Division
No.
Division want to bring you back.
No, I'll tell you why. Division 1 for me was a great time. I still love the universe. I still love the concept of the Division. I still love the world, the characters, and everything that game could be. Not what it is, what it still could be. But Division 1, I wouldn't pick up Division 1 today unless, like I told you earlier in our conversation, unless you had the 3 other players, including yourself, queued up and y'all call me and say, we are in the room, we've booted it up, we're ready to go, there's no distractions, nothing, and I will reluctantly say, okay, I'll come because I'm the 4th man. But to be honest, I don't think I'll get any enjoyment other than our time together. But from the game, it doesn't have anything there to offer me anymore. Monster Hunter, I'm still discovering things in Monster Hunter. I've yet to beat some of these monsters. I've yet to acquire items and recipes, and dude, it's endless. It's endless for me.
Well, and that's what it's all about, content. And I gotta say, Monster Hunter does what the other games don't. They give you content nonstop, and it stays good.
Yeah, it just, I know that there's, with this demo now, at the time of this recording, guys, remember, this is our impressions, our opinions on Monster Hunter Rise, the demo. This is not representative of the full game. So whatever we say here, we're going strictly from, a point of view where we love Monster Hunter. So there's our bias. But we're going to give you pros and cons here in a second. But the game is fun, and you can play it hardcore. Like you're out there and you are meta and you are on the bleeding edge of the armor and the weapon and all that other stuff, and go around beating up every monster like it's nothing. Or you can play it on the opposite spectrum, or you could play it somewhere in between, where I think is where I fall, where, there's still monsters that I've yet to tackle. I'm not in a hurry to go after them. But I'm not one of these, passive, still hunting the great Jagras, unless I need unless I need some items from him or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, the game is that flexible, I believe, and you can have a good time no matter what skill level you're on. It's just that good.
It's a good game, ladies and gentlemen. The brother's making so many points. All I can tell you is this: the game is also good for friendly play, multiplayer play. Getting a group of friends, whether you're fellas or ladies or whatever the case may be, tracking a monster down and absolutely beating the hell out of it. There's no greater stress release than making that monster suffer.
Yeah.
And I've done that on a couple of occasions. I'm sorry. I know it is what it is, and I'm just letting you know how it is.
Yeah, it's just so satisfying going on a hunt. The monster testing your skills, you learning the patterns and the movement of the monster, and that doesn't guarantee you anything. Dusty's in the chat over on the Discord. And what's up, Dusty? Glad you can join us. He says he's
Well, that's
nervous. I
hey,
don't know why he's nervous, but
I want to know what you nervous for.
yeah, right. I don't know.
Oh my god.
Like if he was in the podcast, right?
Yeah, I know, right?
But shout out to Dusty, my brother. We've been playing. We started up Gears 5, the campaign, and
Oh,
we
nice.
played it over the weekend and put some time into it. And man, that game, I'm so glad that I've waited like an entire year plus to play that game because it's gotten a lot of work and it's just great. It sounds great too. That Dolby Atmos is no joke. But
Oh,
we're here to talk about Monster Hunter. Let's
yeah. Let's
backtrack
get
because
back on topic on
let's
here.
get back on topic. So Monster Hunter Rise. Jay, you and I played it this morning. What was your initial impression when you booted up? What did you do? How did you feel about it? Talk to me about that.
Um, I came into the game thinking it was Monster Hunter World because that's what they. I'm not going to say they presented it as like Monster Hunter World 2, but I think it's a like a Monster Hunter World subset game, as in, hey, we got Monster Hunter World, then you got Iceborne, now you got Rise, and this is going to be a blueprint and a foundation for what's to come.
Hmm.
That's kind of how I'm viewing it, and honestly, it is awesome. I was confused at first because I was playing on a Nintendo Pro controller, and I was, my mind was thinking Xbox and not Nintendo. So I'll probably be making some weird movements because I wasn't used to the overall scheme yet, but I got used to it. But overall, the game was fantastic. I play on a 65-inch TV screen, so I'm probably not going to get as good as a visual picture than some of you guys that got smaller screens out here.
And we gonna talk about that. That's one of the
So,
impressions that we gotta talk about. But you said that you thought it was along the lines of Monster Hunter World. Now, if you guys don't know, Monster Hunter World again, Monster Hunter World Iceborne was our first taste of Monster Hunter. Period, and it's a beautiful game on the Xbox. It came out on the Xbox and the PlayStation 4. It's a last gen game. Um, and the game, the feel of it, the mechanics, some of the things that they brought into it with Iceborne that they added that we're gonna talk about here in a moment. Um, yeah, the game is a showcase. It sounds, it looks, it feels great. If some of you guys are old school Monster Hunter players back in the days with the DS and the Nintendo whatever, you guys played Monster Hunter World and Iceborne, and I'm sure you was blown away because it's graphically, it's night and day. System wise, there are differences, and we'll get into that as well. But you played the game, Jay, and what did you think? Just game
uh,
wise,
okay, great game.
okay.
Absolutely,
Why do you say
absolutely,
that?
absolutely great game. Look, it's a Switch game. Let's not get it twisted. So I'm not even going to get into visuals because if we do that, then you're comparing apples to oranges, and we ain't about that drama. So I'm not even going to get into looks, but overall feel and gameplay mechanics definitely take a minute to get used to. But once you do, the gameplay of the game just for that model, phenomenal. Getting used to the wire bug and the movement and the new things you can do. It's going to take a minute, especially if you're a brick-headed gamer like I am. Uh, once you get everything down fundamentally, the mechanics, the sub menus, once you master it, the game is going to be a beast and a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, and I agree. I agree. There is a learning curve with Monster Hunter. When you come into Monster Hunter, I don't care if you played World, Iceborne, you're gonna play Rise, or you play some of the older ones. There is definitely the learning curve, and you have to be patient with yourself and with the game. It is not just a smash buttons game. It's not. There's depth to the game, but like Jay says, once you get it, you got it. And then it's just mastering it from there, to whatever degree or what level it is that you want to play. He mentioned here some of the new innovations. I want to talk about that, Jay. But first, let's get the one of the things that I think reviewers right now, even though there's a lot of great reviewers out there making individual videos on the weapons, the different weapons, the move sets, the demo itself and all that other stuff. But you mentioned resolution, and I'm gonna speak about that because you're playing on a 65-inch TV, correct?
Yeah, 4K with HDMR.
With HDR, right?
HDR.
So
Yeah.
you are on a 65-inch, HDR 4K capable TV, right? I'm on a 55-inch OLED HDR, C9 to be exact, all right? And when I first played this game, I played it and I popped it up on my OLED screen and I didn't like it. I did not like the look of it. It is not a looker. And if you're playing or planning on playing this on a big screen TV, here's my advice. If you can't get past the looks of it on your TV and you don't have a smaller TV, and I'm actually playing this game on display on my computer monitor. Now, my computer monitor is 32 inches. It's an IPS panel. It's also an LG. And the game looks beautiful, okay? Because it's a smaller screen. So the pixels are not stretched out. Because remember, this is the Switch. And I believe in dock mode, it's 1080p. I'm not sure. I can't confirm that. In handheld,
so.
yeah, I believe so. But in handheld mode, when you play on the Switch handheld, I believe it's probably running. Well, it's probably running 1080 handheld and maybe 720 docked. Okay, handheld on that little screen. Even as you guys are viewing this video, like right now you're watching the video and you're watching the gameplay, and that's one of the things that got me when I was watching the previews to this game, when the developers were talking. I was watching on YouTube, just like you guys, watching videos of gameplay and stuff, and I was like, yo, this game looks hot. Like, it looks nice, like graphically. And I forgot that I was watching, these videos on my phone. And so, yeah, it looks sharp on my phone. It looks sharp on these smaller screens. But when you put it on your big TV, it's going to be one of those things. Again, and I have to mention it, it's going to be one of those things that's going to turn off a lot of people. And like I shared with Jay, for me, I can get past that because it looks how it's going to look. But the gameplay is great. The gameplay and the mechanics is great. And I have the option of playing it on a smaller screen. So I got past that way. But that's one thing you have to take into consideration. And for me, it's just more of the reason why Nintendo needs to come out with a Switch Pro. They need to come out with something that is going to get us past 720, 1080, even if it's just 2K. It could be 1440p. I'll be glad. My computer monitor is 1440p and it looks crisp. And I wouldn't mind a Switch Pro at 1440p. Give it to us, Nintendo. Like, if you announce it tomorrow, take my money. Just shut up and take my money. I will give it to you. Okay? You wouldn't have to convince me.
Y'all hear that, Nintendo? That's free money coming your way if you drop what you want.
If they're not thinking, I mean, look at what Capcom has done with this game. It's phenomenal. But when I turned on this game, Honestly, I got Monster Hunter Generations. Okay, I bought it after playing World and Iceborne, and I know now that Generations was a port. I believe from the DS, or I
I
don't
believe
know.
so.
I'm not sure which one it was. It was an older port. But man, was I disappointed because of the graphics. I was just like really taken back. It was a shock to my system. And I said, oh man, I can't do this. Why does this game have to look so hard, look so rough? And I didn't give it a shot. Mind you, that wasn't the only thing that turned me off, that it was a port. In this game here, in Monster Hunter Rise, you're not gonna find any loading screens between areas. Like none. There's no loading areas. So you're gonna travel on your Palamute from one area to the other, and you're not gonna have to wait, whatever, 5, 6, 7 seconds for your screen to load up into the next area like you did in Monster Hunter Generations. So that's a big plus. I was like, I don't want to break immersion. I want to play the game, go from one area to the other. And Monster Hunter Rise delivers. But come on, Nintendo. I mean, Capcom has put out another banger, another Monster Hunter. It could look so much better. I can't wait, Jay, for the next Monster Hunter on this gen consoles, on the PS5 and on the Xbox Series X.
I agree, and I know Capcom ain't gonna let us down. So Capcom, bring the goodness. Take my money.
Yes, they got my money already. I'm just
They,
like,
they,
when Capcom announces a Monster Hunter, I don't need to see it no more. Like, I'm a believer right from the gate. Take my money. Like, I already got Monster Hunter Rise on pre-order.
they,
It's
he's
set.
Capcom. Listen, people speak with their wallets, not with their mouths. I mean, you're free to give an opinion. Whether you take it or not, that's fine. Once again, but if you're about that money, keep dropping that Monster Hunter World,
Yeah,
and I'll
go ahead.
definitely give it to you.
They have a phenomenal franchise, and some of you guys out there might be listening and saying, "Oh man, you're late to the party. We've been playing Monster Hunter since
Oh,
2000 and whatnot." You know what? Better late than never is what I say.
amen to that.
Better late than never. And if you can add me as a gray head, okay, to cheerlead a game that I got nothing bad to say about the game, hey, you should be applauding it. It takes a whole lot to impress me on a game for me to say, hey, hands down, this game is a must. And again, it may not be your flavor of game, but if you give it a chance and give yourself a chance, you'll find an enjoyable, phenomenal game that might be your next all-time great.
And trust me, there's information out here on the Monster Hunter games. There's so many YouTubers. There's so much information. You want to know something that's out there. From guys from Ruicon and Skill Up, Upper Echelon Games. All these guys they give you all the information you want.
Yeah.
As far as Monster Hunter World, Monster Hunter World Iceborne, even this, they'll put it out there. So show them guys the love as well because they know what they're doing and they know what they're talking about.
Yeah, most definitely the two that I watch and follow. And again, they don't know me from a hole in the wall, but Rurikon and Arix is the people you gotta watch for Monster Hunter. Okay. If they're on top
Yeah.
of it, like white on rice.
Yes,
So
sir.
those two are legit, and they got the playlist going, and it's good. But Jay, let's talk some more Monster Hunter and this wire bug. What do you think about it?
Uh, well, since I was a newbie at the time of us playing this game, I was, as the movie would be, dazed and confused.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of mobility. It's a lot to learn, but it's going to be a mechanic you're going to need to learn to master this game. But the wire bug is absolutely a must. There is some skill involved, but once you get it down, man, this game is going to be so much better with it.
Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Hmm. And those are some strong words because I know, again, this morning we spoke about the wire bug, and again, we're referencing Monster Hunter World and Iceborne, and specifically Iceborne introduced to us the clutch claw, if I'm remembering it
Yeah,
correctly. The
it's
clutch claw.
clutch claw.
The clutch
Yeah.
claw. Now, we gave our pros and our cons as to the clutch claw and the wire bug. So I want to kind of like rehatch that, Jay.
Uh,
What is the pros that you see for the clutch claw? And let's describe for us what the clutch claw is.
Basically, long story short, clutch claw, you mount the monster, and you can either damage it, or when it's not angry and running around, you can stab it in the face with a weapon and run it into the wall. I mean, the clutch claw is another way of mobility, and it gives you another way to fight the monster.
So
And it,
what made the clutch claw different from the wire bug?
for me, in my own opinion, the clutch claw is I'm in your face kind of a hunter anyway. You know, I'm always trying to be on top of the monster. I'm always the one that's got to leave the damage for everybody else to mug the monster. That's pretty much my job. So I'm always inflicting damage, and the clutch claw was good for that. You know, the mobility of it ain't that good, but the clutch claw for itself, especially for a player like me, I prefer it only because it's just in my game style. You know,
Right.
your game style might not be like mine, but from my opinion, the clutch claw for me just fits me. It's stiff. You definitely got to line it up. It is easily get thrown off a monster with the clutch claw. There's a lot of bad things, but when you know when to do it right, when you have the gameplay down for it, man, the clutch claw is a fool.
And I'm hearing you talking about the clutch claw, and I just wiped in the video. Just for the record, guys, we're still like virgins on Rise. Okay, so um, Jay was actually playing with a
I was
Nintendo
switcher.
Pro controller. Okay,
Yes, sir.
and so you guys know I was playing this game again docked and with a PS4 controller because I got the 8-bit do. There's no way I was gonna go buy a Switch controller to play this game, and I still haven't
Yes,
synced
brother.
it with my Xbox controller. But I'm doing some work. I'm getting used to it on the PS4 with the PS4 controller, I should say, and it works just fine. So just throwing it out there. And again, that adapter is the 8-bit do. So it's a number 8, BITDO. Look it up. That's the website. And it might save you a couple of bucks, especially if your favorite controller is other than a Switch controller. Because I've played this game. I played this game with the PS4 controller. I've played it docked like that. I've played it handheld with the Joy Cons on the Switch. I've taken the Switch Joy Cons off and played it that way.
That brother
And
said he was throwing gang signs when he was playing it
yeah,
like
man, I looked like I was doing some sort of funky gang signs or cryptic sign language because my fingers were just twisted. But I tell
oh,
you, the way to play it is definitely with a control. At least in my opinion. But
Switch Pro, baby. That's the way to go.
hey, he said Switch Pro. I'll tell you 8-bit do and get your own controller. But
Oh,
but
oh, see
anyways,
there.
what
It's, it's, look, it's a Nintendo product, guys. Stick with Nintendo. That's
okay,
the
you
way.
know what? Nintendo ain't paying me to advertise their control. So if I can save you $60 and you get an 8-bit do for like $10 and use your controller, you're gonna thank me. So th-
Ladies and gentlemen, he ain't wrong.
that
He
that's
ain't
all.
wrong.
That's all I gotta say. Hey, I tell you, Jay, I was on the verge of getting it. I even told Sleek about it. Shout out to Sleek, um, that I was gonna go run out and get it just to play this demo right. And then I remembered. I said, wait a minute, I got an 8-bit due, and I looked in the drawer, and there it was, and it was like, oh, okay, this is gonna do it right here. So, but let me get back to the clutch claw. So the clutch claw, guys, as Jay described it, the mechanic of the clutch claw was you, as long as the monster was not enraged, you can shoot that out, latch onto the monster literally anywhere on its body. You can hold on to the monster as long as your stamina allowed you to, and you can get a couple of shots and blows in there. Or if you had any sort of like charge stones or something, you can like literally put it in its head, and it would go goofy, it would just blow up in his head or whatever. Or you can actually slap the monster around for a bit, face him towards a wall, and then cause him to run into the wall. So the pro on the clutch was that you could do it at any time. The con is, for me, was that you could spam it pretty much. And it slowed down the action. What do you think, Jay? What's the con on that?
I don't. Well, oh man. Well, I already got into the cons. Honestly, monster enrage. It's just gonna, especially depending on the monster.
It was
You take
useless, right?
Yeah, you taking on like Kushala, winds everywhere, and you frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
You literally say, "F the clutch claw." I'm just going in and I'm trying to get my licks in when I can get
Right.
them.
Right.
But if you're an experienced hunter, man, you can make it work,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah. I mean, again, all these mechanics, it's not that we're giving a definitive opinion. It's just our impression comparing it now to the wire bug. What's the plus then? What's the pro on the wire bug? Because some people out here are saying it's the evolution of the clutch claw. What do you
It is.
think, Jay? And
It
what are the pros and
it
cons?
it is. The mobility of the wire bug is stupid, especially for certain weapons. If you running like twin blades, staff, not staff, what they call that? The weapon you use, your main one back in
The
Monster Hunter
glaive,
Iceborne.
the
Blade,
insect
yes.
glaive.
Yeah, any weapon with high mobility, a high attack with that, oh my god, the wire bug is gonna be for you. It's going to improve your gameplay. The mobility is absolutely stupid, but there is skill involved. But once you master that small skill curve, it's just going to make the game so enjoyable. And the sad thing is, that's the downside of it. If you're not willing to put in the time, you're not going to get that good and you're not going to care about it. So, so pros, mobility, more exciting gameplay. Cons, skill curve.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And and I have to agree with you. I think the pro for the wire bug is what you just mentioned, because I've gotten to a point with this demo where I love to ride the Palamute, which, for you guys out there, if you don't know what a Palamute is, it's a dog, okay? You can saddle up on the dog, and it's great because you can ride him in, you can ride your Palamute in, you ride him right up to the monster, you hit that dismount button to jump off of him, and in midair, you can get one shot and then go into a wire bug move, and it's nasty. It's
Yeah.
really nasty depending on the weapon again that you're using, but like that's one thing that I've noticed about this game and the wire bug. I'm an insect glaive person. I'll use the bow from time to time. I might use the hammer from time to time, but insect glaive is my main. Playing this demo, Jay, I have touched at least 5 new to me, new weapons. I've fought with the great sword, the long sword, the blades. And I've had a great time just experimenting with the wire bug and the moves and stuff that I discover is like, oh my god, this is dope. It makes me want to learn the weapons and diversify my fighting. So that's a pro for me. The con, I'm gonna tell you, and again, it is a skill thing. Actually, it's not a con for me, but you can't spam it, which I like that you can't spam it because you have to be purposeful on when you want to use it, and some of your skill moves is going to deplete the cooldown on it. So you have to take that into account. So that might be a con for some people. For me, it's not. I've yet to find a con for the oh well, I can name one. Let me be fair. I can name one. A con for the wire bug is if you're trying to quote unquote aim it, like play it like the clutch claw, you're gonna be frustrated because that's how I was playing it when I first started.
He's
Once
right.
I
I had
got
that
it,
problem.
was that
So I had that problem too. That was
you was trying to
one of
aim it, right?
yep, that was one of my major problems.
Yeah, you was trying to aim it, and then you figured out because with the wire bug, right? If I'm not mistaken, Jay, if you hold down, and again on a pro controller, it's going to be, I believe, the ZL button. If you hold the ZL trigger and A, it pulls you forward. It shoots the wire bug forward and pulls you forward. If you press the ZL button, hold down the ZL button and hit the X button, it'll give you a vertical, kind of a forward vertical pull, right?
Yeah.
So I was trying to play it in the beginning like the clutch claw. I was trying to aim it and it was not working. And when I finally just let loose, it clicked. How about you, Jay?
Uh, well, you're more mobility and clickish. When I was using the switch axe, and I'm a switch axe main, so I'm usually clutch clawing and getting onto the monster to make the monster weaker, so that the guys with the lighter weapons can come in and mug them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just what I do. And at the beginning of this, I kept trying to go, why isn't my clutch claw coming? And I had to get out of my head. You're playing Rise,
Yeah.
not Ice.
The
Like,
muscle memory.
yeah, so I'm playing on a pro controller, and if you ever played on the pro controller, it's kind of like an Xbox controller.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing Xbox commands, and my hands are going Xbox,
Yeah.
Xbox. My mind's going Nintendo,
Yep.
Nintendo.
Yep. Yep.
So,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
so you have to if you played any of those, you have to adjust. So that's going to be a major con too. By the way,
Yeah.
if if you're trying to play both, you're going to have to spend time on both, so your muscle knows, hey, I'm on Xbox, I need to do this, or
Mm-hmm.
I'm on Switch, I need to do that. And if you're
Right.
not used to doing that, that is a con.
Yeah, that's definitely because the mechanic of the clutch claw and the wire bug, it looks similar, but they're very different in how they play out. And and it's funny you say that, Jay, because earlier this morning when we was talking, I said, maybe you play for a while longer and you might change your mind, but it still sounds like you prefer the clutch claw just because of your game style.
It is, but look, I'm just like any other gamer. I'm there's 100% chance I'm going to end up with Rise. There's 100% chance I'm going to master Rise's gameplay and what they're putting out there because I want to enjoy the game, and that's what it's there for. Hey, we got new mechanics, master the new mechanics, and
Right.
that's what gamers do. You get, hey, this is we presenting this to you to play and to have fun with, and if you get my money, hey, I'm going to give you. And the gameplay is great. I'm in, and Monster Hunter Rise has me sold.
Yeah, and that's the key what you just said. You don't mind going through the growing pains and the adjusting and learning new mechanics because it's fun. It
Yeah,
retains the fun that it is, what Monster Hunter is, and what's made it wildly successful, at least this generation, and has added maybe hundreds, if not thousands, of players.
yeah.
Have discovered it, which is amazing. It's great. I'm happy overall that Capcom again has iterated on its series on Monster Hunter. I'll be honest, when I first saw the wire bug on when they first announced Monster Hunter Rise, I said, "Oh, this is dope. This looks nice." And, when they demo it and you see people traversing, even before we saw any gameplay where you were fighting a monster, people, the whoever was demoing it was just traversing because this game is vertical. There's a lot of verticality to this game, and I can only imagine that there's going to be hunts that are going to probably take you to these hilltops. And even though earlier on, Jay, I said, or I was about to say, you don't need really to learn the wire bug, but I'm glad I didn't say it because, and you said it, you're going to need to learn the wire bug at least to traverse, even if you don't use it in a fight. And even then, it might be necessary that you even know it basically because yeah, the game I think is suited the design of it, the verticality of this game. I definitely think that you're going to need to learn this mechanic because the wire bug is not just a gimmick. It's not just to me it's not just an evolution of the clutch claw. I think they're two very different things. I don't know, I might be wrong on that.
No, I think the overall aspect, Monster Hunter Rise is a mechanics gameplay upgrade from Monster Hunter World. Monster Hunter World is a better looking game because it's on consoles that are more powerful than the Switch. That is a given, which is why he said, and I quote, "Don't worry about the looks of the game. It's on the Switch. It is what it is." And if you want to even venture into the series, I recommend just get the base Monster Hunter World and play the base game. And if you just enjoy the base game and want to fully invest, then go Iceborne Rise. Or get Rise if you like regular Iceborne, get Rise and you can play it on a go on your Switch. I mean, you can't go wrong. There's nothing wrong with trying the demo. And I
Yeah.
think Monster Hunter World is live on Game Pass.
Yeah, yeah,
So
it is. I believe
there's
so.
so
I
there
believe it's still there.
yeah, so there's no excuse for you to give the game a try.
Yeah.
You know, I made somebody a believer and he gave it a chance and tried it. He's a believer now.
Yeah,
So
no, and again, Jay lied to me for the record because he never disclosed that he was not. This was his first, Monster Hunter with Monster Hunter World and Iceborne. But I'm glad that the game again. Not only was the game good for me, it's become my number one game ever. Period. Okay, and say what you will, it is. Nobody can move me from that. That's where I'm staying firm. It's the only game that's gotten that loop right, in my opinion. And it's just that good. But Jay, I would actually recommend because it's funny. We played Monster Hunter World and then Iceborne, and then now are playing this demo on Rise, and we're looking forward to playing it. I would actually tell people, you know what? If you got a Switch, play it on the Switch and stay with it on Switch. And if later on in the future you get curious about, playing it on another platform and whatever, I think the same thing is going to happen to you guys that happened to me, where it's going to be a shock to the system because, again, there are some mechanics and when I mean mechanics, let me specify even the way you access your menus. There was some quality of life adjustments that came with Monster Hunter World and Iceborne that are not here thus far. And to be fair, this is a demo. Um, I see that. And, again, for the old school Monster Hunter players who played it on the original Nintendo's whatever 3DS or 3 or DS or whatever it was that you played it on, the menus look very familiar to you and you can navigate them easily. Whereas
Yeah.
a guy like me, that was a shock to me, to see something like that and go, oh man, I am not familiar with this at all. It could have been a deterrent if I wasn't already familiar with the series. So we got Abraham Sanchez in the room, and he said, "I just pre-ordered it." Yeah, same here,
Yes,
brother.
sir. Good
Yeah,
job.
it didn't take me to play the demo. I actually pre-ordered it before playing the demo, and then when I played the demo, I said, "Ooh, I don't know if I made the right choice." But after I gave it a chance, like a real chance, I fell in love with it just as much as I'm in love with World and Iceborne. So I'm definitely going to be playing this on my Switch again on my computer monitor. And when I'm out and about, I will play it handheld, but I personally don't recommend it if you're gonna play it on a big screen TV. Maybe that doesn't bother you. Maybe you can play it on your 55, 65 inch. If that's the way you roll, that's cool. For me, no. I'm gonna play on my computer monitor. And I'm
Yeah.
because I want it to look as good as it can on a screen other than the Switch screen. And I think that again, that's something that people need to take into consideration because that's the reality. The game looks good for what it is, but it is not a 4K, HDR title. It is a Switch game.
Yes, it treated as such, ladies and gentlemen. Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
It's a Switch game, but it's gonna be fun to play Monster Hunter and whack monsters on the
It's going to
go.
be amazing. It's definitely going to
Oh,
be
that's gonna
amazing.
be so
And again, please excuse the gameplay. We were playing this game for the first time. This gameplay that you're watching right now, we are experimenting with different weapons. At least here you see me with the blades, the charge blades. I've never played with these weapons in my life. And even playing with the insect glaive, there's a learning curve on this game because the button layout is different. Which you, again, in all fairness, you can configure your buttons to your liking. So that's not even an obstacle. You can configure it to Monster Hunter World Iceborne settings, whatever. So that's not an excuse not to play the game.
You either like it or you don't. So don't come in with the will you know it's your money, it's your time. My man
Oh,
Abraham say, "Hey, I got a pre-order. I'm
he
with you,
he
brother."
he, he pre-ordered it. I mean,
So it just lets you guys know game's quality and people waiting on it.
yeah.
You can't go wrong.
You can't. You're gonna have a lot of fun, and knowing Capcom and the support. I mean, Iceborne itself could have been its own game. To be honest with you,
Absolutely.
it could have been its own game. They just piled on the content, and it was amazing. I'm still amazed. Like I said earlier in the podcast, there's still stuff in there that I'm discovering, and it's just a joy to play. Dusty says in the chat, how many in multiplayer? I think you could
4.
party up with 4 people.
Yeah, it's still 4.
Yeah, so I know you got a Switch, so
I think every
and
brother that we know got a Switch. So
I think
hey,
so. I think so.
you know,
But party up with somebody is so much fun to play it with people. And again, we don't know more details as Capcom releases more information. I'm sure that, or I'm hoping that they're going to make it to where if you are in a party of 4, then it scales up to 4. And if somebody bails out, then it's gonna scale down like they did with World. Actually,
I'm,
Iceborne is what bought that.
I'm sure.
Um,
I'm sure they'll have that worked out. They'd be crazy if they didn't.
yeah, yeah. Dusty says he's getting it. So yeah, it's we're gonna be playing it. I'm going to be playing this
I'll be
game
on.
most definitely. And I wish more of the people in the DFG community would play it. I'm talking to all you guys out there who are gonna listen to this after the fact. But guys, we're getting ready to wrap it up. Jay, I don't know if you have anything else that you want to say, you want to share with us, impressions.
Um, Overall, I've said it once and I'll say it again. If I have to give the demo, just the demo of the game of Monster Hunter Rise, it's definitely making me just playing the demo for when I played it. I'm definitely going to spend my money on the game. I'm changing in the podcast earlier. I was throwing my mouth I was throwing my mouth deep in the God of War Santa Monica. Well, I'm going to have to go ahead and take my foot and shove it up in my throat.
Oh, you changing your game of the year now,
I,
huh?
I'm gonna have to play a Monster Hunter. You know, hey, I'm gonna have to renege on that God of War unless they show me something.
Mm,
I touched the demo of Monster Hunter Rise. Yo, game of the year. It's gonna be a
it's a
nominee.
contender. It,
If it ain't a nominee, there's something wrong with people in gaming today.
you know what? Whether it is or not a nominee, I'm gonna let you know. For gamers, just what the game is, and we're talking about a game and its fullness. For me, it's got my vote. We're working on a rating system here. Sleek and I are working on this rating system that we're going to pretty much put out here. But before I get to that, Abraham asks, did you guys see the Monster Hunter movie coming out later this year? Um,
Okay,
no, I
Abraham.
haven't. Are we talking about the one that just dropped or it hasn't dropped yet, right?
He's talking about the one with the Resident Evil chick in it.
Oh, I haven't seen it. And you know what? I'm not interested, to be honest.
Well, hold on. I'm gonna say this. Even though it's the Resident Evil chick, I saw a couple of trailers of the movie, and I was like, "Damn!" But after I saw her, I was like, "Oh." so,
that killed it for you.
so, dude, I mean, you talking about some military vehicles being struck by lightning, and all of a sudden they fighting the Rathian and Diablos, and I'm like, "Wait, come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
I get it. Like, it looks good. Like the movie genuinely looks good. Like you're a Monster Hunter fan, you're gonna be like, yo, Monster Hunter on the big screen.
Nah, not me, bro. No, when I listen, the very first time I saw the trailer, my youngest son and I, when we saw the dude scoping, he was looking through the scope on his rifle with the wrong eye. His eye was shut and he was looking through the scope. Yo, we both cracked up because we both saw it at the same time and said, yo, did you see that? And we rewinded and we paused it and we said, look at the dude looking through the scope with his eye closed. I said, no, that did it for me. I said, I'm done. I'm done. I can't. No, the stars is gonna be the CGI graphics and the monster and this whole thing about military vehicles and all this other stuff. Like, nah, man. I would have rather, to be honest, I would have rather to have seen like an anime. That's just me. I don't know. That's just how I feel
Well,
about it. But
you know what? Abraham made a statement. You want to read that real quick?
yeah, he says I heard it wasn't really based off Monster Hunter anyway. There's a lot of lore-ish elements missing. Yeah, and you know what? And I never got into the lore of Monster Hunter. I think I need to do that.
Well, the lore is actually pretty good, and that's a good point. Let's not treat it with the lore. Let's just treat it as a movie and give it a chance. What do you
Hmm.
think?
Well, I don't
Let's
know.
just enjoy it
No,
for what
I'm
it is.
not watching the movie. I'm sorry. I'm not. No. Let me
Oh,
say
come
this.
on.
Let me say this. I'm sorry. Let me back it up. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm not going to pay to watch that
Okay,
movie. Okay.
okay.
I might have a day in my life where there's nothing else and PBS doesn't have something playing that I'm interested in, like some sort of nature show or something. And that
I
might
need to
just
tell
make me want to watch it. Like,
well,
okay, I got nothing else to watch.
how you gonna throw in PBS though?
Yo,
Like that's
PBS
just
is dope,
busted.
man. I grew up with Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, bro. I ain't ashamed of that. Sesame Street, Electric Company. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there too. I'm
Tho-
41. I understand. I get it.
I'm sure
I get
those
it.
those were much more entertaining. I don't know, and I'm just goofing on it, but I don't need to watch the movie. I know that there hasn't really been. You know, what was the last movie that I saw that was based on a video game that I actually enjoyed and had a chuckle? It was.
What's that?
What do you think it was?
I don't know.
You can't guess. You know what it was? It was Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog,
I
bro.
I haven't seen Sonic yet,
Yo,
so
I watched
I can't
Sonic and I thought it was cool. Okay, I thought it was cool. And Jim Carrey is just the goof that he is. Yep, yep. I actually enjoyed the movie. I said, okay, this is cool. This is cool. I'm glad that they listen to the fans and whatnot. We got Henyo in the chat. And Henyo, we're not ducking you, bro. This is strictly a Monster Hunter Rise episode. So, it would have been Charlie Brown to you.
Yeah, as we sit here, we mentioning other things besides Monster Hunter Rise, but I
Right,
didn't see
right.
it.
Well, we just went off on a tangent on that. That's why he's like LOL and he's like, it was cool. But we definitely, guys, if you're here, Drama Free Gaming on YouTube, DFG Podcast on Anchor.fm and on iTunes. I just got the email that we're on iTunes. So we're big time. I guess that means we're big time now. Or they finally put it on that platform. Either way, check us out. Check us out, guys. And I'm ready to wrap it up, Jay.
Yeah, I am too. Just to let you guys know, we do have a podcast coming soon.
Yes.
And we will be discussing things on CES.
Yes.
And you'll be getting it from old men's perspective.
Yes.
So we're not getting paid, so we ain't here to grease no palms. So
no.
You're gonna get it raw and ugly.
Yeah, no, just like our gaming, we're talking strictly as gamers, but there's just something about our podcast. You know what it is? And even Henyo, who is grayer than us, we've been around, okay? And that's a perspective, guys, that you might not get from some of these other podcasts that are younger. And I'm not criticizing their youth. I'm just saying they don't have the depth, the knowledge, the experience. We've been there and done that. There's nothing new under the sun for us. And for us to get really excited about a game, it's gotta be really good. And Monster Hunter, again, in my opinion, is one of those games that is really good, okay? It's my game of the generation. It's my favorite franchise, period. Hands down. So, I don't know. Jay's still stuck on The Division, so we'll leave him with that.
Wow. Okay. See, they always got to beat me up, so that's my role, y'all.
I had to throw that one in there, but guys, appreciate you being here. Jay, say your farewells. I'm gonna wrap it up here. Go for it.
So long, farewell. We're here to say goodbye. Name that movie.
I don't watch movies like that, bro. I just, I'm too busy like messing with tech, bro. The Sound of Music. Look at this brother, man. We can tell. We can tell he got time on his hands.
Anyway, guys, y'all have a good night. Keep your lives drama free.
That's right. Keep your gaming and keep your life drama free, people. Catch us on the next one, which will probably be in a couple of days. Yeah. CES 2021. So far, mostly, I saw the AMD, but we're going to talk about that when Henyo gets on, and that's going to be good. All right, guys. Catch you on the next one. Later.
Later.